Imagine this story. A baby abandoned on the streets of Pakistan becomes a genuine Chinese bride 20 years later. Her name is Zihe, known online as Xiao Haini, which means little black girl in Chinese. She just shared her wedding on social media. What makes this wedding special is that the bride has striking features with an exotic look, but the moment she speaks, her fluent Henan dialect surprises everyone.
老表们，吃饭了，你看看，这一家子。
She is completely a girl who grew up in China. On September 17th, she held her wedding banquet following traditional Chinese customs. Wearing a pure white wedding dress, she completed the ceremony witnessed by many family members, friends, and fans. The most touching moment was her vow, where she said she was once just a small flower that had not yet bloomed, but gradually blossomed and became more beautiful under her groom's care. Yes, true love can make a person more beautiful and life happier. Many people online actually knew her already. Because of her unique appearance, people jokingly called her the Cleopatra of Henan, China. But what really made her go viral was the striking contrast. She looks completely like a foreign girl from the Middle East or North Africa, but when she speaks, it is authentic Henan dialect. Zihe lives with her adoptive parents in an ordinary village in Henan province. Just like the regular villagers, she can do all kinds of farm work, and no farm work is too difficult for her. People find it hard to imagine that such a refined-looking girl can actually handle this kind of labor. This huge contrast between what people see and hear left a deep impression and made many curious about her story. Today, she has accumulated over 1.8 million followers and become an internet celebrity. But her success is not simply because of her beautiful appearance or hype topics, but because of her real-life experience that has been both difficult and fortunate. Zihe was abandoned in Pakistan as a child. It was her current Chinese adoptive parents, a simple couple from Henan, who brought her home and raised her with care. She grew up in Henan from a young age. Not only are her eating habits the same as the locals, but her personality and way of speaking are also completely integrated into the local culture. Going back to 2002, the honest and kind Mr. and Mrs. Fan went to Pakistan together to work. This journey to a foreign land completely changed the trajectory of their lives. One day by chance, Mr. and Mrs. Fan saw a poor little Pakistani girl standing alone on the roadside. She was an orphan. Seeing her so lonely, the couple could not help but feel compassion. When they saw this abandoned baby, both of them fell into a dilemma because their wages were not high and their own lives were not easy. How could they spare the extra energy to raise a child? But just leaving her there was not an option either. They knew clearly that if they ignored her, what awaited this child would definitely be terrible. In the end, the couple still felt compassion. They would rather take this child with them, even if life became harder, than to abandon a precious life like this. With this thought, they brought the child back to their home. Later, the couple brought the child back to China. After all, raising a child back in their hometown would have much less financial pressure. Because Zihe was born in Pakistan, her skin tone has been darker since childhood. Because of this, Zihe had many troubles. She did not understand why she looked different from others, and there were even some children who would not play with her because of her skin color. After the adoptive parents found out, they did not think this was a small matter. Instead, they firmly stood by Zihe's side and patiently comforted her, dispelling the shadow in her heart. Gradually, she learned how to get along with her peers, and the troubles gradually disappeared. Although the couple's income was not much, they always did their best to give Zihe the best of everything. Even though they were not her biological parents, their love for her was no less than that of biological parents. She recalls when she was sick as a child. The family's conditions were poor and they had no car. In the middle of winter with heavy snow, her father carried her on his back and walked a very long mountain road to the city for medical treatment. Every time she talks about this, her eyes fill with tears.
自己有孩子，他们就想把最好的都给我。还有就是我小时候经常生病，然后呢，俺爸都我记得最清的有一天晚上他下着雪，就冬天嘛下着雪，他抱着我去看病。俺爸妈说我非常伟大的人。
After the college entrance exam, she could not continue to university due to her grades and financial conditions. Wanting to help reduce the family's burden, she went out to work and spent 2 years on the production line at Foxconn. During that time, working night shifts, dealing with noise and radiation, it was really hard. But she never complained until her body could not take it anymore, and she decided to quit and go home to rest. During that period of rest, she started using her phone to record daily life and share it on social media platforms. Unexpectedly, one video went viral. In the video, she was eating authentic Henan braised noodles while speaking in the local Henan dialect, and that exotic face made people watch it over and over again.
老朋友们，看今上午吃的啥饭？鸡蛋捞面条，这可是河南小时候最喜欢吃的东西。
Once this contrast came out, the internet exploded immediately. Fans affectionately called her Xiao Hei Ni, Henan Little Black Girl, and some gave her the nickname Cleopatra of Henan. The videos she continuously uploaded not only introduced the food and local customs of her hometown, but also generously shared her own growth story. She quickly accumulated millions of followers. By 2024, she posted a set of photos with her parents, which was actually a set of wedding photos taken later. It turned out that when she was young, her parents could not afford to take wedding photos due to poor conditions. Now, with the money she earned herself, she made up for this regret, fulfilling her parents' dream and expressing her filial piety. She and her boyfriend Xiao Liu have been together for 3 years. From ordinary friends to working together on their career, their relationship has always been stable. According to her, Xiao Liu has always been a strong support on her social media journey. From moving equipment to editing videos, he helps her with almost everything. This wedding not only represents the crystallization of their love, but also symbolizes the results of their joint efforts. Although after marriage they temporarily live at the bride's family home, Zihe frankly said, "We will continue to work hard and save money, hoping to buy our own house in the future." These sincere words show her inner strength and expectations for the future. She has never been the kind of internet celebrity who gets by on looks alone, but rather an ordinary girl who is down to earth, hardworking, and loves life. The wedding on September 17th was quite grand. The groom's home was nearly 200 miles away from the bride's home. According to Chinese custom, the groom must set out from his own home in the morning to pick up the bride, so around 1 a.m., the groom's party had already departed. They rented a Rolls-Royce as the wedding car. When this luxury car drove into the village and traveled on the dirt road, it immediately became the focus of the village. The groom also looked very impressive that day, accompanied by 2 groomsmen in sharp suits. Zihe wore a traditional Chinese wedding dress. Before leaving her family home, she washed her mother's feet. This was her way of expressing gratitude and thanking her mother for raising her. After the groom arrived at Zihe's home, he followed tradition by kneeling and kowtowing before the bride's parents to bid them farewell. As they left the house, she sat in the car and cried. Even though she wasn't truly leaving her family, she still felt reluctant to part. Once they got in the car, the couple finally had a moment to rest, but they couldn't resist taking out their phones to record a video, sharing the happy news with their fans.
谢谢你让我越来越漂亮，也把我这朵小花养得越来越精致了。
In the future, she also plans to continue working hard to buy another house for herself and her family. Many people say that Zihe's achievements today are all because she is lucky. But in fact, that so-called good luck did not fall from the sky. Rather, it is when you are helpless and someone reaches out to help, when you are confused and someone quietly accompanies you. Her transformation from an abandoned baby in Pakistan to a daughter of Henan, and now to an internet celebrity, relies not only on the traffic brought by that bit of contrast, but more on the gratitude for life and the power of persistence along the way. Her story tells us, fate can sometimes be unfair, but love can make everything start over. The luckiest thing is not what kind of family you are born into, but being chosen by true family and cherished wholeheartedly.